Waiting for the umpires to get to home plate, and the starting lineups for today's ball game for the Dodgers, a record of 14 wins, 12 losses, and 4 ties so far in the Arizona portion of spring training. It'll be again D. Gordon at the top of the lineup. Gordon will be at the shortstop position. Batting second and playing at second base, Mark Ellis. James Loney is at first. Batting cleanup in center field today, Jerry Hairston Jr. Hairston will be in center field. Tony Gwynn Jr. is in right. Gwynn will bat in the 5th spot. Josh Fields is at third base. Luis Cruz will be in left field. He'll bat in the 7th position. Doing the catching and batting 8th, A.J. Ellis. And on the mound, Chad Billingsley. And for Billingsley, trying to get back on track for Bills, has not had what you would label a stellar spring so far. He's worked 18 1/3 innings. Today will be his 6th start. But for Billingsley in those 18 1/3 innings, has allowed 27 hits, and he's given up a .351 batting average against him. So that's the lineup for manager Don Mattingly, who's signing some autographs down the left field line as the umpires make their way to home plate. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, for their manager Kirk Gibson, who was selected as the National League Manager of the Year last year. Ryan Roberts will lead things off. Roberts is at third base. Playing at second, Aaron Hill. Justin Upton will bat in the 3 position. He'll be in right field. In left, Jason Kubel, one of the big additions during the offseason to this Arizona ball club. Kubel will be in left. Chris Young in center field. Young has had a very good spring, hitting at .400. Paul Goldschmidt is at first base. Goldschmidt will bat in the 6th spot. Batting 7th and doing the catching, Ryan Buddy. Buddy, a non-roster player, will catch. John McDonald is at shortstop. McDonald will bat 8th and batting 9th. And on the mound, Daniel Hudson, a perfectionist by his own admission. And during the regular season, the Dodgers know about Hudson. Try and get him early. And a new improved slider for that right-hander. The umpire and crews, they get the lineup cards at home plate. John Tumpain will work the plate to call the balls and strikes. Jim Wolf and David Cackley will be on the base pass here this afternoon. As we mentioned at the outset, some of the Dodgers have already departed Glendale, Arizona, headed home to Los Angeles. The Dodgers tomorrow will be in Anaheim against the Angels, and then at Dodger Stadium on Tuesday night, and then again on Wednesday afternoon. Of course, opening day down Thursday in San Diego, a 4-game series there, and then coming back home and kicking it off for real. This is the boring time for the players and the coaches alike. They want to try and get out of Arizona. Headfirst dives are probably out. Gambling as far as plays and sliding in and collisions at home plate, yeah, those are out as well. The word will not be mentioned, but the back of everyone's mind, injuries. And Charlie, as we talked to Don Mattingly, he says, look, including on Wednesday's game at Dodger Stadium, he says, our guys will get one at bat. We want to get them out of there. And right now, you just want to get out of Glendale, Arizona safely.
Yeah, I remember, 6 or 7 years ago in the final exhibition game of the preseason at Holman Stadium when Jason Repko had that collision with Rafael Furcal. Final game, final couple of innings for each. Furcal was damaged goods most of the season as a result of the ankle. Repko would run into a wall and pull a hamstring later in that very game. And so as they're leading the horses to the starting gate, they want nothing out of the ordinary, just to break a sweat today, tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday against the Angels, and then it all begins for real on Thursday.
Players do not want to talk about it, but Dodger fans can think back also in the late 80s when Pedro Guerrero, the final day in Dodgertown in Vero Beach, Florida, going to third, didn't know how to interpret the signs from Joey Amalfitano, the third base coach, who was telling Guerrero slide. Well, Pedro got caught between sliding and standing up, and the knee blew out, and he was lost for about 2 months to open the season.
So the Dodgers 14, 12, and 4 this spring. The Diamondbacks 11, 17, and 2. What does it mean? Absolutely nothing. Last year, the Arizona Diamondbacks, who had a tremendous season, going 94 and 68, improving their win total by 29 from the previous year. What did they do last spring? Won 12 and lost 25. The Dodgers last year were 14-21 during the spring training season and finished the year at 82 up and 79 down. A picture-perfect 71 degrees on this Sunday afternoon, April the 1st, and the Dodgers and Diamondbacks are getting ready to play. They won't face each other for real until the month of May. So Billingsley, here comes his first pitch of his final start of spring. It's a fastball for a call strike to Ryan Roberts, and we're underway. Roberts really a breakthrough season last year. With Mark Reynolds going to Baltimore, he was a very solid presence to be sure. 232 this spring for the right-handed hitting third baseman, who fouls it off to the right, and it's 0-2. Aaron Hill on deck and Justin Upton to follow. The Diamondbacks just were on fire from about the middle of May through the end of the year last year. Now the 0-2. Fastball just inside, 1-2. Defensively for the Dodgers on this Sunday afternoon, Josh Fields at third base, D. Gordon at short. Mark Ellis at second base, James Loney is at first. A.J. Ellis squatted behind the plate. Now Billingsley on 1-2. Fastball, ground ball up the middle into center field for a base hit. So on a 1-2 pitch, Roberts singles to center.
You know, normally in your last outing in Arizona for spring training, you would say, well, it's just a final tune-up. I really believe that for Chad Billingsley, this is more than just a final tune-up because he has not been fine-tuned so far. And since this is his last outing, I think it's imperative to get some batters behind in the count, as he had right here, the leadoff hitter, Roberts, but to finish them off.
Billingsley, his sixth start of the spring in 18 1/3 innings, 10 earned runs. Swing and a foul tip into the dirt off the bat of Aaron Hill, and it's 0-1. 10 earned runs, 27 hits in 18 1/3 innings. And opposing batters are hitting .350 against Billingsley. Justin Upton is on deck. In the outfield this afternoon for the Dodgers, Luis Cruz battling perhaps Josh Fields and Justin Sellers for that 25th spot on the roster. So it's Cruz in left, Hairston in center, Gwynn in right. Billingsley delivers low. 1 ball, 1 strike. So it's a game of musical chairs between Fields and Cruz and Sellers for that one spot. And it looks like the lefties Stephen Rice and Josh Lindblom have their own little musical chairs game going on for the final spot for the Dodger pitching staff. But, of course, so much changes over the course of the season.
And that music will stop on Wednesday. And who has a chair left?
Aaron Hill, the former Blue Jay, 12 for 54 this spring, a .222 average. Billingsley set at the chest. Runner goes, swing and a foul back and out of play. And it's 1-2, so Ryan Roberts was off and running with the pitch.
Diamondbacks, a ball club that's got to put it around the starting pitching. Their bullpen up until last year, you look at the number of years before that, their bullpen was a mess. But it was the 10th of August last year when the Arizona Diamondbacks took over the San Francisco Giants for first place in the Western Division. Of course, the D-backs wound up the winners of the West.
Aaron Hill turned 30 last week out of Visalia, lives in Scottsdale now. The 1-2's popped up foul off to the right side. Loney and Ellis give chase, and they run out of room.
Diamondbacks a big turnaround, 29 games they made up and improved in the standings from that 97-loss effort in 2010. Talk about a turnaround. And for Kirk Gibson, as we mentioned before, selected as the National League Manager of the Year.
Kirk beginning his third season as the manager of the Diamondbacks, his second full year. Justin Upton awaits on deck. The 1-2 pitch from Billingsley to Hill. Breaking ball, fly ball, short right field. Sprinting on in and dropping in front of Gwynn. The throw to second base is going to be a force out. Ryan Roberts was in no man's land. Wasn't quite sure if Gwynn was going to make the play. Gwynn did not, but picked it up all in one motion. Got a force out at second base.
Really nothing you can do as the runner. For Tony Gwynn, played it perfectly. He saw he did not have a chance. Made sure he was able to field the ball. Good throw on the run. And they're able to get the lead man.
So your basic 9-6 force out. 1 out, 1 on. Justin Upton coming up. Upton 288 this spring. Takes inside and low, 1 ball, no strikes. No home runs, 4 runs batted in. Upton had a breakout year last year. There's never any question about his skill level. The question was, could he put it together? And boy, did he ever last year. Takes a fastball up and in. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, that pitch is rather significant for a couple of different reasons, and it's already kind of mushroomed this spring. Upton last year was hit either 18 or 19 times. He stands right on top of the plate. And about 10 days ago, the Arizona Diamondbacks got into a little bit of a brouhaha and made a statement. Their pitchers did. If you're going to hit Upton, we're going to take one of your guys. But Upton, really, you have to pitch him inside because he's so quick. He stands right on top of the plate. And if you don't establish inside, he's going to have a very comfortable day.
31 home runs, 88 runs batted in last year with 39 doubles and 5 triples. Now the 2-0. Line drive foul up the third base line. It was a screamer. And it falls at a strike. Wind is blowing out from right field toward left. Steady breeze about 15 miles an hour. 71 degrees. Diamondbacks 11-17-2 this spring. A big sweeping curveball missing outside. 3 balls and a strike to Justin Upton.
It's actually a new pitch for Billingsley. He took something off of the curveball. Normally it's a power curve that he has.
Now let's see if Aaron Hill might be going on 3-1. Billingsley set. Not going. High and inside, ball 4. First and second with 1 out. And that will bring up Jason Kubel.
Charlie, I want to go to that off-speed breaking ball that Billingsley just threw. The problem is that when you can see it in the booth, and what I'm talking about, we could see that he slowed the delivery down. That's like waving a red cape in front of a bull. He's going to have to throw it into the same motion, the same routine, and the same velocity as far as arm speed.
Jason Kubel, who signed as a free agent after spending his entire career with the Minnesota Twins, 271 career hitter. Last year with the Twins, 273. With 1 out, Kubel takes a strike, 0-1.
Well, Kubel also handles left-handed pitching. He's a left-handed batter, but he handles left-handed pitching pretty well. Short, compact stroke with some power, and he can pull the ball, although the Dodgers play their defense. In center field, Hairston's playing him over into left center field.
Kubel lives in Calabasas. No balls and a strike, first and second, 1 out. Low and inside, blocked nicely by A.J. Ellis. That is 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Young is on deck. So the Twins lose a couple of really good players to free agency. Michael Kadire goes to Colorado. Kubel to the Diamondbacks. Now the 1-1 Kubel, left-handed batter, slightly open stance, a strike on the outside corner. It's 1-2.
Kubel, a 12th round pick by the Minnesota Twins in 2000 out of Highland High School in Palmdale.
It was an interesting signing because Gerardo Parra, who won a Gold Glove and had a great year last year, also a left-handed hitter. And Parra at the moment is the 4th outfielder. Inside and low, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Kubel with the Twins was their minor league player of the year in 2004.
Had quite a year in 2009 with Minnesota. 28 home runs. And 103 runs batted in. He swings and fouls it down the right field line. Count 2-2. So the Diamondbacks, of course, had that great year last year. Can they repeat? Well, they fortified themselves offensively, of course, with Kubel. They added Trevor Cahill to the rotation. Now the 2-2. Outside and high, 3-2. And once again, Billingsley falling into the trap of high pitch count.
And that's after getting ahead in some of the counts. Of course, he gave up a 1-2 count base hit to the leadoff man Roberts. But the pitch count, Billingsley just abuses opportunities by falling behind.
It's 3-2. Let's see if the runners go. There they go. Swung on, foul, tipped into the dirt. So we'll do it again. The runners to return. Hill to second, Upton to first.
So Matt Williams, the third base coach, going through a set of signs. Eric Young coaching at first for Arizona.
Don Baylor, their hitting coach. Charles Nagy, their pitching coach. 3-2. Let's see if the runners will be going again. As Billingsley gets the sign from Ellis, the outfield is straight away. The pitch to Kubel. The runners go, swinging a foul ball down the left field line, slicing foul and into the stands.
And first thing you would start thinking about again with Billingsley, pitch count. And he's trying to get that second out. And this is the final tune-up.
Next pitch already will be the 23rd for Billingsley here in the first inning. He's got but one out. Let's see if the runners go a third time on 3-2. Yes, they do. Swung on a missed strike three. Throw to third base and a tag out there. Aaron Hill was out from here to Phoenix. Great throw by Ellis. That ends the inning. A strike him out, throw him out, double play. Josh Fields at third base slapping on the tag. No runs, one hit, one walk, and one man left. No scores. We go to the bottom of the first. '25-year-old Daniel Hudson out of Lynchburg, Virginia, now lives in Chandler, Arizona. Has had a very solid spring, making his fifth start. In 14 innings, he has struck out 14 batters, walked only 2. An ERA of about 2.5, and opposing hitters hitting just 163 against him. 6'3", 2 1/4. And D. Gordon has had a sensational spring, leading it off for the Dodgers. Hudson's first pitch, and Gordon takes under the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. D is 23 for 58 this spring. An on-base percentage of .470. And a ground ball to second base. Nice, easy hop for Aaron Hill. And he throws out Gordon, first out. Goldschmidt dropped the ball, but he held on to it long enough, and that's the first out.
Well, for Hudson, it's kind of indicative of getting the ground ball out, because when he's on that good hard sinker slider. Mentioned at the outset he's a perfectionist, and he gets angry at himself, and Kirk Gibson told him, he said, look, let the bad stuff go by. He says, just make your next pitch and continue on.
Mark Ellis having a solid spring, takes outside and low, 1 ball, no strikes. 245 with a dozen hits in 49 at-bats, and has driven in 8. 6 of his 12 hits have been doubles. Ellis takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
That's not a bad pickup coming over in that Edwin Jackson deal with the White Sox, along with a left-hander, David Holmberg.
The 2-0 on the way. Is a strike at the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike to Mark Ellis. No score, 1 out, bottom half of the first. James Loney on deck. Hudson had a terrific year, 16-12 with the Diamondbacks last year. And he delivers a strike outside corner at the knees to Ellis, 2-2. Made 11 starts after the trade in 2010 with Arizona. And Hudson went 7-1. Here's a 2-2. Low and inside, 3-2. Last year, 16-12. And so since coming to Arizona, Daniel Hudson is 23-13 with an ERA of 3. The 3-2 to Ellis. Low and outside, ball 4. So Mark Ellis, a 1-out walk here in the bottom of the first.
And while Ellis has hit just 245 so far this spring, he's shown great patience and knowledge. And Mattingly's not afraid to use Ellis either on a hit-and-run opportunity, because he's made pretty good contact.
So Ellis is at first base, 7th time he's been walked this spring, and James Loney steps into the batter's box. James at 280, a call strike, and it's 0-1. 14 hits and 50 at-bats for Loney, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. He's also got 4 doubles and a triple. Dodgers wearing the white pants and the blue tops today. Diamondbacks in their gray slacks and that Sedona red jersey. No balls and a strike. Loney loops one into right center field. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to split the seam and roll to the wall. Rounding third, on his way home is Mark Ellis. Standing at second base, James Loney with a double. And the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead. For Loney, his 5th double of the spring and his 9th run batted in.
Tom Mattingly was asked this morning about James Loney. And they said, well, what do you expect from him? He said, we just want James Loney to be James Loney. He's had a much better path to the ball with the bat, gets the bat in better hitting position. And one of the things we commented on early in spring, too, Charlie, was the fact he was not hitting while standing on top of his front leg. Golfers can understand that. He hit against a firm front side, and his balance, he being James Loney's balance, has been much better.
Jerry Hairston Jr. steps into the batter's box. Hairston 14 for 39 this spring, starting in center field today and batting cleanup. This may be the only time in his life he will have done both, certainly at the major league level. But the great thing about Hairston, he can play all 3 outfield positions and 3 of the 4 infield positions, and I suppose in a pinch he could play first base as well. The 1-0 is outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Tony Gwynn Jr. on deck.
There's been some terrific competition in the spring for the outfield positions. Unfortunately, one guy they were counting upon, Jerry Sands, did not answer it.
Hairston fouls it back, and it's 2-1.
There's a lot of positive things, but then the managers and coaches, I mean, your heart goes out because Sands had a perfect opportunity. Sands had really kind of the lead role, if you will, particularly against lefties, and who was Mattingly going to use against left-handed pitchers? Well, Sands hit them so well last year over 350, but Jerry just really struggled this spring, and he was sent out.
The 2-1 with Loney leading from second. Hairston fouls it off to the right. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jerry, 13th big league season. Of course, his dad, Jerry Hairston Sr., played with the White Sox, and so Jerry grew up outside Chicago in Naperville. Now lives in Scottsdale. And it always seems late in the season, Hairston is traded to a pennant-contending team. Such was the case last year when he was in Milwaukee. And he and David Eckstein were the leaders of that little engine that could in San Diego in 2010. The 2-2 chopper over the middle, backhanded behind second base by Aaron Hill. He'll throw to first base. Hairston is out. Loney goes to third, 2 gone. The catcher, Ryan Buddy, going out to have a chat with Daniel Hudson. Of course, Miguel Montero is going to be the everyday catcher. Montero is about as good as there is behind the plate in the National League. Gwynn at 244, 10 for 41. Left-handed batter. And if you close your eyes and you hear him talk, he sounds just like his dad. Swinging a foul back and out of play, and it's 0-1. Gwynn's had a solid spring. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead. A Mark Ellis walk. James Loney run-producing double to right center. Loney leads from third, the 0-1. Gwynn takes inside and low, and it's 1-1. Well, the Dodgers came into spring with not very many questions regarding their 25-man roster. As Gwynn swings and misses, and it's 1-2. As Mo mentioned, Sands was a disappointment this spring and figured that he might be the 5th outfielder. So instead now there are 3 fellas fighting for that final spot among the position players, and one of them's on deck, Josh Fields. Gwynn takes inside and low 2-2.
What has helped Josh Fields is he's been able to play a lot of different positions. Primarily, it's going to be the infield, either third or possibly at first. He's played left field, but Mattingly says, well, he's okay in left field, which means he's in left because of the bat at times.
Here's the 2-2. Gwynn swings and misses, and that ends the inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left, and after 1 is the Dodgers 1, and the Diamondbacks nothing. Chris Young to lead it off for the Diamondbacks as we head to the second inning. Chad Billingsley coming off a 23-pitch first inning, facing Young, who's batting .400 this spring, and a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Young with 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in, 7 doubles. They keep waiting for that big breakout year from Young that Hasn't happened yet. 1 ball, 1 strike. A career 240 hitter. Last year, 236. 20 home runs, 71 runs batted in. But like so many of these Diamondbacks, he's prone to strike out a lot as he takes a strike. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, Billingsley knows what Young really handles better, and that's the fastball middle of the plate in. Chad went away nicely there and got the fastball outside corner. They're going to go away again.
The 1-2 down and away, and it's 2-2.
I want to make a comment also on that double play, strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. At the top of the first, that was a changeup that Billingsley threw.
The 2-2, Young fouls it off the end of the bat.
And the reason I say that is we saw him take something off the curveball in one of the pitches to Kubel. And we said, that's like throwing a red cape in front of a bull because he slowed the arm action down. Well, he finished up the inning, and the strike him out, throw him out double play with a much better executed changeup.
Young on 2-2, tied up and not swing and a miss. Fastball up and in. That's a second strikeout for Billingsley. It's the first out of the second inning. Paul Goldschmidt coming up. Something about getting into his kitchen?
A little bit. A little bit. You know that pitcher has gotten into your kitchen. That's what hitters refer to it when a guy comes up and in on you. Well, he just took the knobs off the cabinets coming up and in there.
Paul Goldschmidt's the batter, and he takes a strike, 0-1. They're expecting big things out of Goldschmidt. This spring, 273, 15 hits and 55 at-bats. Big slow curve, whacked into left field. A diving attempt by Cruz. Unable to come up with it cleanly. It's going to drop in for a base hit.
Well, that was the slow curveball again, and I got to tell you, I came out of the seat when I saw it being just released from the hand. You lay one out over the plate, you can make the argument Billingsley is fortunate it was only a single. Goldschmidt should have hit it over the Dodger building beyond the left field fence. So 2 slow changeups on the curveball. They have been terrible as far as the execution. A straight change to get that double play we referred to was excellent, however.
Now Ryan Budde, Budde, takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Charlie, also, this is the final tune-up. Spring training is the time that you're working on things, and Billingsley trying to work on that slow off-speed curveball. It's a different look, but he does not have it perfected, at least so far in the first 2 innings of this game.
Yeah, that pitch is telegraphed because everything about him seems to slow up. Of course, the ideal changeup is that everything looks the same and the ball travels 10 or 15 miles an hour less.
Yeah, well, the only person who's not seeing the change of the arm speed on that slow curveball is the beer vendor, and that's because his back's to the plate.
Ryan Budde looking for his first hit of the spring. He's 0 for 12, right-handed hitter from Oklahoma. Takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Went to Oklahoma State. He's bounced around. He's 32 years of age. Played a bit with the Angels last year, in fact. Billingsley set at the chest. Here's the 0-2. Fastball inside and low, 1-2. Budde is by and large kicked around the Angels minor league system. Turned pro in 2002. Now 32 years old. Billingsley on 1-2 with Goldschmidt leading from first, missing outside and low, 2-2.
Yeah, Budde has bounced around. The Phillies acquired him from the Angels in a Rule 5 draft. That was in 2006, but they returned him back to the Angels farm system the following year. And then a couple of years ago, he chose free agency rather than to be sent to AAA by the Angels again.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Goldschmidt, who singled to left, leads off first. Luis Cruz in left, very deep for the Dodgers. Now the 2-2. Fly ball to deep left field. Down the line, deep, and gone. A home run. It was fair by maybe a foot or two. A 2-run shot, and the Diamondbacks take a 2-1 lead.
Well, for Budde is known normally for his glove. The defense versus the offense. But he hit that one like he knew it was coming, and it just did stay in fair territory. But that was a breaking ball that did not do a whole lot of breaking. It did a quick turnaround and jumped out of the ballpark, however.
Working with only 3 umpires today, the home plate umpire, John Tumpain, signaled the home run call. John McDonald, the shortstop, fouls it back, and it's 0-1. McDonald, Connecticut born and bred, hitting .268 with 11 base hits in 41 at-bats. A very solid fielder, good utility player. Ball and a strike to McDonald, 1 out, 2 in the top of the second. Squares to bunt, takes it back, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
One thing about McDonald they want him to do is to hit more balls, line drives, and even sharply on the ground versus the fly balls.
The 2-1 is outside, 3 balls and a strike. Came up with the Indians in '99. Then it was on to Toronto. A half a season with the Tigers, back to Toronto. And then last year traded to Arizona. A very dependable fielding second baseman shortstop. And he has just whacked a line drive into left field for a base hit. 3 hits in a row for the Diamondbacks. The line drive single by Goldschmidt, the home run by Buddy, and a clean line drive hit for McDonald.
Yeah, A.J. Ellis is going to the mound. I'm not certain is as much to talk to Billingsley as it is to allow the outfielders to take a breath. Because Billingsley hasn't fooled anyone here in the second inning after the strikeout to Chris Young, and that's only because he did come up and in. But since that time, location has not been a premium.
So Billingsley continues to struggle this spring. Daniel Hudson steps into the batter's box. Hudson, one of the better hitting pitchers in the National League. .277 last year with a home run and 14 runs batted in. Squares to bunt, fouls it back. It's 0-1. Diamondbacks 2, the Dodgers 1, with 1 out in the top of the second inning. Hudson steps out of the batter's box and takes a good close look at Matt Williams, the third base coach. And Eric Young is the first base coach for manager Kirk Gibson. Josh Fields inside the cutout at third. Hudson squares to bunt, fouls it off, and there was a fastball coming in. And he was as much defensive in that bunt attempt as anything else.
Hudson's looking at third base coach Matt Williams. He has the body, his body language. You can kind of read, boy, I hope I don't get the bunt again. He just about had his fingernails taken off with that last pitch. Billingsley came in on him.
Tossed to first base, and McDonald back standing up. No balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Ryan Roberts is on deck. Billingsley continues to struggle. The 0-2, Hudson squares to bunt, and it's a good one back to the box. Billingsley has 1 play, and that's to first. Hudson the sacrifice. McDonald goes to second. Sacrifice scored 1-4. Pitcher to the second baseman, Ellis covering. Ryan Roberts, his nickname is Tat Man, because he's got tattoos from head to toe. And he tattoos one to deep center field. Running on back and over the shoulder. It's not going to be caught by Hairston. It's off the top of the wall. In to score is McDonald. Roberts arrives at third. They're going to call it a grounds rule double. It was, in fact, over the wall. Kicked back off the batter's eye. And that makes it a 3-0 game as Roberts Hits one all the way to the wall. One hop over the wall and back in play. So the grounds rule double call.
And that was a fastball. It was batting practice location right down the middle of Broadway.
So Billingsley continues to struggle. Aaron Hill is the batter. And a call strike to Hill, and it's 0-1.
Now, Billingsley has to be concerned with the first 2 innings of this ball game. In his final tune-up, he's made some very good pitches, and then he's made some other pitches.
The 0-1 is a swing and a slow hit roller to short. In comes Gordon, sidearm throw to Loney, and that'll end the inning. But Billingsley gets cuffed around and gives up 3 runs and 4 hits. Leaves 1 after an inning and a half. It's 3-1 Arizona. Josh Fields, Luis Cruz, and A.J. Ellis to bat for the Dodgers in the bottom of the second. Diamondbacks, 3 runs and 5 hits through 2 innings, and Billingsley has thrown 48 pitches already, 32 for strikes. Fields fouls it off to the right, and it's 0-1. Fields in a battle for the final roster spot among the 25-man regulars that will open the season in San Diego on Thursday. Luis Cruz has come out of nowhere. He's on deck. He's also in that battle along with Justin Sellers. Fields takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Fields at 273 has 12 base hits in 44 at-bats, and a ball down and away, 1-2.
One of the big responsibilities of a manager is to know your the depth on the ball club and exactly who you can match up against which clubs. And for Fields, he matches up better against a pitcher that does not make his bread and butter with a lot of breaking stuff.
Like that one, a call strike 3. Fields takes a seat. Breaking ball.
Although Fields did not particularly agree with home plate umpire John Tumpain. You know, this is April 1st. But it had nothing to do with April 1st back in 1911, when then the National League umpires were asked by the league president, Tom Lynch, to provide evidence of a vision test. And Fields may require one now.
Luis Cruz takes a ball outside and high, 1-0.
And it was not an April Fool's joke either. But all the umpires had to provide some evidence of a vision test within the previous 6 months.
Cruz pops it up into short left field. Retreating is Willie Bloomquist. And Bloomquist makes the catch in short left in front of Jason Kubel, and behind Ryan Roberts, there's 2 out. You know, since 1962, Dodgers Stadium has been an iconic Los Angeles landmark, and 2012 marks its 50th anniversary. Saturday, April the 14th, you can take home a piece of history with your own Dodger Stadium replica commemorating opening day 1962, presented by State Farm. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. 2 out, nobody on, and here's A.J. Ellis, who's had a very solid spring offensively. And he takes a strike, 0-1. Ellis 12 for 40 with a home run, 4 runs batted in. But one thing we've noticed about A.J. and his time with the Dodgers, he's had a discerning batting eye and gets on base with a lot of walks and a ball outside. 1-1. He's walked 10 times this spring, and so while he's hitting .300, his on-base percentage is .431. Billingsley on deck, 2 out, bottom of the second, 3-1 Arizona. And Hudson delivers a fastball for a strike. It's 1-2 to A.J. Ellis.
Yeah, we saw Ellis, I believe it was on Friday, a couple of times. He was back behind in the count 0-2 very quickly. One time he got a walk, the other time he went 3-2 before he got a base hit.
Takes inside and low, 2-2.
So laying off of pitches, in particular when you were behind in the count, having that discerning eye, and hoping that the man in blue behind you has had a recent eye check.
Here's a 2-2. A little golf shot into right center field. Be an easy play for Chris Young. He's there, makes a catch. And 5 in a row have been retired by Daniel Hudson. Nothing across for the Dodgers. We go to the third. 3-1 Diamondbacks. As we go to the third inning, the Dodgers have made some changes. It's like Matt Traynor is now behind the plate, taking over for A.J. Ellis. And Matt Engel is in center field, taking over for Jerry Hairston. 1 ball, no strikes to Justin Upton, who swings and fouls it off to the right. And it's 1-1. Upton, Kubel, and Young to bat for the Diamondbacks here in the third, as Billingsley has struggled through the first 2. This will be his 51st pitch of the game already. Fastball for a strike. Inside corner at the knees, 1-2 to Justin Upton.
Justin Sellers takes over at short, and Jeff Baisley is now at first base for the Dodgers.
Here's the 1-2. Billingsley delivers inside and low. And it's 2-2.
Yeah, we noticed in the parking lot when this game was about to get underway, there was a few cars, their engines were running, air conditioning was working, and the players are going to be in them rather soon and depart Glendale.
The 2-2 to Upton. Swing and a foul back and out of play. as we were arriving at the ballpark this morning, 9:30, 10 o'clock. A lot of the Dodger regulars were in their civvies, had their cars packed, and no doubt about halfway back to Los Angeles by now.
Yeah, there were some early workouts here today.
Upton on 2-2, swinging a fly ball into center field. Engel misplayed it briefly, now has to sprint in to make the catch. Upton flies to center, first out of the third. So we will reset the Dodger defense for you in just a moment. The wind is blowing out from right field toward left. It's been swirling, a steady breeze of about 15, 16 miles an hour. Kubel struck out in his first at-bat, takes a fastball high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Billingsley on 1-0. Delivers inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Kubel. Josh Fields, the third baseman for the Dodgers now. Justin Sellers is at short. The 2-0 from Billingsley. Kubel swings and fouls it off to the left, 2-1. There's a new second baseman now as well. That's Elian Herrera. Jeff Baisley is at first. And a call strike to Kubel, 2 balls and 1 strike. The outfield for the Dodgers now, Luis Cruz, Matt Engel, and Tony Gwynn from left to right. As Billingsley misses outside and low to the left-handed hitting Kubel, 3-2. Matt Trainer behind the plate. I'm sure we'll see Tim Fedorovich before the end of the day as well. Here's a 3-2. Swinging a fly ball into short right field. Herrera gets underneath it, makes the catch for the second out of the top of the third.
Not only Fedorovich, you see in the third base dugout, Charlie, all those guys with the white pants on the bottom and those blue top jerseys with Dodgers written on front of them.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine we will see every one of them.
Terrific. 2 out and nobody on. Chris Young steps in. Billingsley deals a fastball low and inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Normally they put out a list every day. Those that will be in uniform. The Dodgers is kind of funny. They put out the Dodgers travel roster for today.
The 1-0 is a swing and a foul back off to the right. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Chris Young with 2 out in the top of the third, 3-1 Arizona.
And even though this is a home game, there's a lot of traveling going to be done. The Dodgers personnel plus 10 minor league players will go west for the Freeway Series.
The 1-1 is outside low, 2-1. Well, on the potential playlist for the Dodgers today, a fellow named Leon Landry, Kyle Russell, swinging a fly ball to left field, drifting on back is Luis Cruz, and it is gone, a home run. We were telling you about the wind that was blowing from right field toward left. That one got into the jet stream, and Chris Young has just swatted his 4th home run of the spring. It is a 4-1 Arizona lead.
Going back, Cruz going back. He knows what the wind is doing. Was going to carry the ball even more. He was holding his right hand out, trying to find the fence, not taking his eyes off the ball. He just ran out of room, jumps up, but cannot jump high enough.
Second home run given up by Billingsley as Big Paul Goldschmidt swings and misses, and it's 0-1. So Billingsley has really struggled this spring, and today's been not much better. They had a call strike. 0-2 to Chad Billingsley. Goldsmith singled to left in his first at-bat and scored a run. 4 runs, 6 hits for Arizona. 1 run, 1 hit for the Dodgers. Billingsley delivers a breaking ball outside and low, and a nice job by Matt Trainer digging one out of the dirt. And he was just behind the left-handed batter's box when he did so. 1-2 to Goldschmidt. Hit 40 home runs last year, 30 at the minor league level, and 10 once he got up to the big leagues. Takes high and inside, 2-2.
Here's where Billingsley runs into problems. 0-2 and a breaking ball that we wouldn't even swing at it from here. And then he misses way inside, so now it's 2-2.
Fastball missing high and outside, 3-2.
And all three pitches. I mean, the curveball missed by 2.5 feet. The fastball, then the next one missed by about 8 inches inside. The last one missed by about 8 inches, and now the payoff pitch.
Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that ends the inning. 1 run, 1 hit. The wind-aided home run by Chris Young. After 2.5, Arizona 4-1. Before we begin the bottom of the third, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Dodgers radio network. Adam Kennedy pinch hitting for Chad Billingsley as we begin the bottom of the third, and he takes a strike, gets 0-1. Tough outing, the final one for Billingsley. He's due to start on Friday in San Diego against Corey Lupke. Kennedy takes a strike, 0-2. Billingsley went 3 innings, 4 runs, all earned, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. 70 pitches, 44 for strikes in just 3 innings. The 0-2, Kennedy swings and fouls it off to the left. Kennedy missed a few games this spring with a pulled groin, but he's ready to go come opening day. Dodgers have had a good spring as far as health is concerned. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Hudson, who kind of struggled in the first inning, has settled down. He has retired 6 batters in a row. That's the first out of the third. And Justin Sellers coming up. This is Justin's first at-bat. D. Gordon had 1 at-bat this afternoon, bounced to second base. And Justin takes high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Sellers in a battle for that final spot with Josh Fields and Luis Cruz. And Sellers fouls it back, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Justin has kind of gotten the idea, too, line drives, not fly balls.
A ball and a strike, swing and a miss, and there was that big swing that the Dodgers would rather not see from him.
It's just a longer swing, and that longer swing, you don't get the barrel of the bat really to the hitting zone. And it goes away. Justin Sellers has surprising power, but you do not want him to be thinking about hitting the long ball.
The 1-2. A swing and a fly ball to center field, drifting toward left center. The wind is carrying that one a long way. It's going to be tracked down by Chris Young. A step or two on the warning track in slight left center field. That's the second out of the third, and Mark Ellis coming up. Actually, it's going to be Matt Engel. Ellis's day is done. He has walked. So with 2 out, nobody on, Matt Engel, who the Dodgers picked up. The wind, for those of you listening on the radio, has been blowing steadily from right field toward left. And those of you watching on television, you've seen what the ball has been doing with that wind as the flags are flapping out there in left center field. Engel swings and grounds it foul up the third baseline, and it's 0-2. Engel is 9 for 32 this spring with 6 walks, and so his on-base percentage a very heady 410, 281 overall for an average. Dodgers picked him up off waivers from the Orioles at the end of February. Engel fouls it off to the left and out of play. Left-handed batter with great foot speed.
Kind of a slash swinger.
Oh, 2 to Engel, left-handed batter. The pitch on the way, a swing and a fly ball to left. And the wind playing tricks on Jason Kubel. But he's able to track it down, and that'll end the inning. Nothing across for the Dodgers. We'll go to the fourth with Arizona leading 4-1. Are you a Dodger fan and a Trojan fan? Well, you're in luck. April 25th, USC night at Dodger Stadium. With the purchase of the special ticket package, you'll receive a ticket to the Coca-Cola All-You-Can-Eat Pavilion and a limited edition USC-themed portable speaker. Tickets for this package limited and only by purchasing at Dodgers.com/USC. New pitcher for the Dodgers, Matt Guerrier. As we begin the fourth, the Diamondbacks 4 runs and 6 hits. The Dodgers 1 run and 1 base hit. 8 in a row have been retired by Daniel Hudson. Guerrier delivers high and inside to Ryan Buddy, who hit a wind-aided home run in his first at-bat. 2 home runs given up by Billingsley today in his 3 innings of work. Guerrier delivers low, 2-0. Guerrier had a cranky back that sidelined him for about a week, but he's fine and ready to go. For Guerrier, this is but his 4th appearance of the spring. And he delivers inside and low, 3-0 to Ryan Buddy.
I talked with Guerrier briefly after Friday's game, and he said it's fun to be back again and healthy. Had some aches and pains, but feels 100% now.
And a 4-pitch walk to Ryan Buddy as the Diamondbacks begin the fourth.
Oh, disappointing outing by Chad Billingsley, who goes just 3 innings. But the pitch count was up there.
70 of them. Only 44 for strikes, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, and he surrendered 2 home runs. John McDonald is swinging away. The runner goes, a swing and a ground ball to second base. Having to go to his left, Elian Herrera, who had hopes of a double play, couldn't make it. Buddy, who was off and running with the pitch, slides safely into second base. Herrera's only play to first. McDonald's retired for 1 out.
Arizona has not done a great deal of running. They've stolen 15 bases. Technically 0 for 1 in that attempt category today. So they've been nailed 10 times trying to steal.
Daniel Hudson, who sacrificed in his first at-bat. Swings and fouls it back. It's 0-1.
That swing would classify the term severely jammed very well.
Was in on the fist, and he fouled it off to the right. Hudson is a very good hitting pitcher. Had 18 hits last year and 65 at-bats, a .277 average. Pickoff play, and just back by an eyelash, Ryan Buddy. Justin Sellers came sprinting over from the shortstop spot. A perfect throw by Guerrier. A very close play. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, top of the fourth. 4-1 Arizona. Guerrier deals. Fastball inside and low. And it's 1-1.
So far, Guerrier has been pitching. His counterpart, Hudson, on the cuticles.
Hudson didn't expect to come to work today getting a manicure. 1-1 with 1 out. Buddy leads from second. Outfield straight away. Hudson swings and grounds it to third. Nice easy hop for Josh Fields, the one-time quarterback from Oklahoma State. Fires across the diamond. Hudson is retired, 2 out. And here comes Ryan Roberts. Roberts 2 for 2 today. 15 for 58 this spring. Four runs, 11 runs batted in.
Roberts, Charlie, is one of those guys that we have seen him feast on fastballs up and out over the plate.
Takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, Guerrier put a wrinkle into that one. I mean, if you get a fastball hitter that likes the ball and you elevate it, throwing something that moves, but Roberts can catch up to it. Very quick hands. At times, he becomes a little bit too pull conscious.
No balls and a strike to Roberts. Right-handed batter stands slightly off the plate, deep in the box. Waggles the bat, awaits the pitch. It's inside and low, and it's 1-1.
You know, we've talked about catchers a lot. Matt Trainer, when you see someone with another ball club, you only see him sparingly. But watching Matt Trainer, he gives the signs. He knows where he's going to set up, but he does not set up inside or outside early. He waits. The pitcher knows where he's going to go.
1-1 is grounded into the Dodger dugout down the third baseline, 1-2.
And that time, Trainer slid inside, up underneath the batter. But he does it in a way when he moves left and right that is not blocking the umpire from still having a very good look at the strike zone. And you start to really appreciate the ability and the technique of players when you see them on a daily basis.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. A 4-1 Diamondback lead, top of the fourth. Guerrier set, deals, swinging a chopper foul over the Dodger dugout and into the stands.
Trainer's one of those guys, too, is going to be a good blend along with A.J. Ellis because they are both very studious about the way that they go about doing their jobs. Look at a lot of videotape, so by the time the pitchers, even before they go to the bullpen to warm up, they have talked to the pitcher, they understand the routine. Then they find out if they're not warming them them up themselves in the bullpen. They find out ahead of time, okay, what was working down there, and we'll see if it works also on the mound when the game starts.
The 1-2 inside and low. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ryan Roberts.
As pitchers would tell you sometimes in the bullpen what they had, and they really controlled pretty well. By the time they get to the mound and warm up in the game for whatever reason, it's not always the same as you had in the bullpen.
The 32-year-old Ryan Roberts out of Fort Worth, Texas, awaits the 2-2 from Guerrier from Shaker Heights, Ohio. Big swing and a miss on a slow breaking ball, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left after 3.5. Arizona 4 and the Dodgers 1. For those of you keeping score at home, Valley View Casino and Hotel's Colossal Coin Jackpot is currently at $250,768. Details at valleyviewcasino.com. Lorenzo Bundy is the first base coach for the Dodgers this afternoon. Davey Lopes is on his way back to Los Angeles. And Jeff Baisley will lead it off for the Dodgers. Arizona is awaiting either Ryan Buddy or somebody else to catch.
Well, and the other thing is, too, they're waiting for a beach ball to be retrieved in center field. Well, the beach ball has been retrieved, but the catcher has not. And I believe we'll probably see a new catcher.
Nice of him to join the party. It's Miguel Montero. Usually your regulars start, and then the understudies come in later.
Well, Kirk Gibson's had a lot of fun with April Fools, and this time with his big guy behind the plate. For those who are joining us late, originally the lineup card that Kirk Gibson sent over to the Dodgers had Daniel Hudson, the starting pitcher, batting in the leadoff spot, and a couple of other changes, but it was probably funnier in Kirk's office than it was here.
Well, and you and Don Mattingly and I were talking about 10:30 this morning. We got the lineup from the Diamondbacks, and Hudson, the pitcher, is leading off. Well, this is a little strange. Now Hudson who's had an outstanding day on the mound and has a 4-1 lead as we begin the bottom of the fourth. Hudson is also a good hitting pitcher, and so we figured, okay, maybe Gibson's got something in mind. Little did we realize it was April Fool's Day. Jeff Baisley leading off for the Dodgers here in the bottom of the fourth. The 2-0 from Hudson is a swing and a foul off to the right and out of play. 2-1.
Well, Kirk's never really been known as a great sense of humor. And he was a little bit either right or left of center on this attempt.
Yeah. Well, that's why they invented erasers on pencils.
And you didn't have one.
No. I had the eraser. You had the pen. Baisley with a fly ball down the right field line, slicing and near the line is run down by Justin Upton. First down to the bottom of the fourth. Now Matt Trainer gets his first at-bat of the afternoon. Early part of spring, Don Mattingly would make changes straight up, knowing that his players would get 2 or 3 at-bats, play 4, 5, or 6 innings, whatever the case. But now on this final day here in Arizona, the substitutions are coming fast and furious. Trainer takes a strike. It's 1-1. Trainer 5 for 20 this spring. A home run, 3 runs batted in. Right-handed hitter. Takes outside, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, the final day is free substitution day.
That's it. All you can fill in on your scorecard. Trainer, ground ball right side, picked up by Paul Goldschmidt. And he runs to the bag, easily beating Trainer. There's 2 out.
Oh, we understand the Freeway Series. The Dodgers and Angels have already agreed to the fact that no game will go beyond 9 innings. And if the home team is leading, they will still bat in the bottom of the 9th. Gentleman's agreement, which is the perfect way to do it because it's the final 3 tune-ups.
Either way, we get 9 innings of baseball.
9 innings.
2 out, nobody on. And Tony Gwynn, who's still in the game. First ball swinging, grounds to second base. Aaron Hill picks it up, throws out Gwynn. That ends the inning. 1-2-3. Hudson has been letter perfect since the Loney double in the first. We'll go to the 5th, 4-1 Arizona.
Right field, number 96, Kyle Russell. Now at second base, number 89, Luis Jimenez. Elliot Herrera moves from second base to shortstop.
We have some more changes, Mo?
Thank you very much for dropping that on me. Kyle Russell, we believe. We don't have the sign-in sheet yet. But he's in left field, Charlie. And Luis Nunez is taking over at short.
And Alan Webster is the new pitcher. Webster, a highly regarded prospect, has made one outing so far this spring at the big league level. So Kyle Russell, out of Magnolia, Texas, is in left field. Luis Nunez is the new shortstop. Webster's first pitch, all the way to the backstop, overthrew a fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Webster, 6'2", 170 out of North Carolina. Last year at Chattanooga, 6-3. At Rancho Cucamonga, he was 5-2. Fastball crackles into the glove, but inside to Aaron Hill. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. The Diamondbacks, 4 runs and 6 hits. Dodgers, 1 run and 1 hit. Hill 0 for 2. Swings and fouls it down the left field line. And it's 2 balls and a strike.
Think about Webster, just looking already, he's only made 3 pitches, but there's some pretty good sink in the fastball.
Ranked the number 2 prospect among the Dodgers by Baseball America, and the 95th highest rated prospect in the minor leagues by the same publication. Missing outside, 3 balls and a strike.
Also a very good approach. 2 years ago, they tried to teach him the changeup. He did not feel confident in it, but he found another way to battle it.
The 3-1 fastball whacked foul down the left field line, 3-2.
And what he discovered was that changeup was a pitch that he knew he had to come up with. Did not feel comfortable throwing in the games, and he kept throwing day in, day out in the outfield during batting practice, playing catch, if you will, the changeup. So the pitching, the coaching staff got him to finally believe in it.
Missing with a fastball outside and low ball 4. Aaron Hill, a leadoff walk here in the 5th. Matt Guerrier went 1 inning. No runs, no hits, a strikeout, and a walk. 14 pitches, of which 7 were for strikes. Now Justin Upton steps into the batter's box. He has walked and flied to center. Younger brother of B.J. Upton. Webster delivers a fastball squiggling down the third base line, foul and out of play, 0-1. That got in on Upton in a hurry.
And yet he's kind of geared to open up for anything inside. And again, that's where clubs have to pitch him. And I know last week when I read that there were some quotes from Arizona, they were tired of Upton getting hit. I get that. But I would also argue if you have a hitter, that he's a formidable force in the lineup that stands on top of the plate. And he does not really move away from pitches inside. He's going to get hit, not purposely, but if you don't come inside and move him off the plate, you're basically just going to throw cookies up there and say, here, hit this.
Upton entering his 5th year with the Diamondbacks. No balls and a strike. Webster deals, swing and a miss. Breaking ball took something off, and Upton way out in front, 0-2.
So I think it's effective. We've seen twice today. Billingsley did get 1 pitch in on him in the very first inning. And then he will swing, open up the zone a little bit more, and that's exactly what Webster did. Moved inside, came back, and got him to swing at a ball off the plate.
0-2 to Upton, a 4-1 Diamondback lead in the top of the 5th. Webster deals, high and inside, and it's 1-2.
So just watching Trainer, he's delivering a message to Webster. So they keep the shoulder in there. So we'll see what Trainer's going to do. Webster doesn't know that much about Upton, but he's going to come inside.
But first he'll throw to first base. He'll back head first, being held on by Jeff Baisley.
And that's what Trainer is getting. And he gets it from Don Mattingly, who goes through signs, gives it to the catcher. If there's a throw over, if you want a slide step.
Now the 1-2 from Webster, and Upton takes high and inside, 2-2.
And you see the late movement by Upton? I mean, that's a pitch, basically, effectively as a hitter. If you merely raise your arms, the ball goes by you unimpeded. But if you keep your arms in there, that's where you're going to get hit with a pitch.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Fly ball center field. Way back there, Matt Engel at the wall, leaps, can't get it. It's off the wall. Hill rounding third, being sent home by Matt Williams, and sliding into third base with a triple is Justin Upton, and the Diamondbacks take a 5-1 lead.
Well, you come inside and you miss a couple of different times for Webster, but the Dodgers outfield did not play it very well. Engel's had some difficulty in the outfield, but that's a ball out over the plate. But it's not just Engel. Engel had no help at all from Russell, Justin in left field, or the right fielder. They were both standing and watching. And that's something that the minor league coaches will talk about, because that was an outfield that basically took the play off. No support at all for Engel.
Dodgers bring the infield halfway in for Jason Kubel, who fouls it off to the left, and it's 0-1.
And that play kind of goes against what we have seen so far this spring. Don Mattingly, the first day, says, look, guys, we're going to play the game right. Not because I expect it. That's the way the game has to be played. And we've seen very aggressive defense. Not on that play.
No balls and a strike. Pitch is in the dirt. And it's 1-1 to Jason Kubel.
And the coaching staff, they can see it when that ball hit the wall, and it's a tough sky. You're working with the wind, you go back, but when you see the left fielder and the right fielder just watching it, something's not right.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Infield halfway. Kubel, ground ball to first. Easy play for Baisley. He'll step on the bag. Upton has to retreat to third. And that is the first out of the 5th in this 5-1 Diamondback lead, and Chris Young is coming up. Young has struck out and hit a home run, helped by the wind. Been a steady breeze from right field toward left all afternoon. And you take a look at the pants and the shirts of the players, and they're flapping around in the wind as well. Chris Young's home run is 4th of the spring. Takes high and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Many of the Dodger regulars left camp this morning. Make their way back to Los Angeles as Young swings and misses 1 and 2, and those who started, most of them are out now and showering in the clubhouse, and they'll be making their way back toward Los Angeles. Now the 1-1 from Webster. Fastball up and in, 2-1 to Chris Young. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 6:30 for the pregame. First pitch at 5 after 7. The Dodgers and Angels down in Anaheim. Jamie Wright will pitch for the Dodgers. Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2, and so it'll be a bullpen cavalcade for the Dodgers tomorrow. Dan Herron to start for the Angels. Dodgers and the Angels at Dodger Stadium on Tuesday night. Irvin Santana and Aaron Harang in their final tune-ups, as Webster delivers under the knees 3-2. Wednesday, a 12:10 matinee at Dodger Stadium. C.J. Wilson and Nathan Eovaldi. And then after that game, the Dodgers will board their buses head down to San Diego and get ready for the season opener on Thursday. Now the 3-2. Webster misses low and outside, ball 4. So Alan Webster struggling a bit in this outing.
I think Webster, the best thing you can tell the young man, breathe. Just relax, breathe.
Dodgers play the infield back now, trying to get a double play out of Paul Goldschmidt, who has singled to left and scored. He's also been struck out. 5 runs, 7 hits for Arizona. 1 run, just 1 base hit for the Dodgers. They haven't had a hit. In fact, their only hit came from James Loney in the first inning with 1 out. Goldschmidt has to get out of the way. As he bails out, the helmet goes flying. And Matt Trainer goes out to talk to young Mr. Webster.
Well, Goldschmidt's lucky that that ball just did not come in any tighter. So, again, for Alan Webster, relax, which is very easy to say because, trust me, in the minor league locker room, when they put up the list or the coaches went to them and say, you're going to be in the A game, you're going to be the big guys today, your heart rate will start to skyrocket a little bit.
Now with runners at first and third, the runner goes from first, and there will be no throw. So Chris Young steals second. Justin Upton retreats to third. There are runners at second and third with 1 out and a 2-0 count to Paul Goldschmidt. Miguel Montero is on deck. As Webster misses inside 3-0, and again, body language can speak so eloquently, and at the moment, Webster looks intimidated out there. Gets the ball back from Trainer, and the shoulders are slumping.
Well, don't have him look in the bullpen. There's no one throwing.
The 3-0 is a high pop-up in the infield, left side of the diamond. Josh Fields has lost sight of the ball, but Luis Nunez, a shortstop, hasn't. And Nunez makes the catch for the second out.
Number 26, Miguel Montero.
Now Miguel Montero had a sensational year with the Diamondbacks last year. 18 home runs, 86 runs batted in, hit .282. Has a great throwing arm. He'll throw out between 35 and 40% of would-be base stealers. And he swings and slashes it off to the left, and it's 0-1.
Montero finally got the idea and applied it. Had a career year last year, but the idea is that he's best suited left center to right center. He's a guy that ran into a problem, created more problems for himself, trying to pull the ball all the time.
Left-handed hitter, slightly open stance, practically upright as he takes high and away. And it's 1-1.
And going to the power alleys in that ballpark that they play half their games in, downtown Phoenix, works out very well because it is a huge center field. It goes back into the corners in left center and right center for extra base power.
A ball and a strike. And he takes a strike at the corner, 1-2. Nobody was better at throwing out would-be base stealers last year than Miguel Montero. And he swings and misses, and that ends the inning. Fastball darting down. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 left after 4.5, 5-1 Diamondbacks. Fans join the Dodgers for what is sure to be an eventful 2012 season with the largest promotional schedule ever at the lowest ticket prices in years. To guarantee your tickets opening day and Koufax and Scully bobblehead nights, purchase season tickets or select mini plans today. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/tickets. Charlie Stein and Rick Monday on a breezy Sunday afternoon, the 1st of April. We're at Camelback Ranch in Glendale. The Diamondbacks 5 runs and 7 hits. The Dodgers 1 run and 1 base hit. Josh Fields begins the Dodger 5th and takes a ball outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. Daniel Hudson has been terrific so far, and Fields has struck out in his only at-bat. Hudson will pitch the 2nd game of the season for the Diamondbacks against the Giants. He'll be facing Matt Cain. That's next Saturday. Ian Kennedy faces Tim Lincecum on Friday as Fields swings and misses 1 and 2. Fields has really struggled over the past week to 10 days. He is sitting on the bubble and looking for a big game today, and so far he has struck out. And now the count is 2-2 to Josh Fields. Fields has some power, more power than Luis Cruz, who's on deck, or Justin Sellers. Those 3 fellas figure to be fighting for the final offensive spot on the roster. Sellers, of course, everybody knows what he can do based on what we saw last year. The 3-2 to Fields was a line drive, foul up the third base line. And Cruz has had a solid spring. Fields now going to have to get a new piece of lumber as he broke his bat with that swing.
And which way do the Dodgers go? Still a couple of days left. Are there those few days going to make a difference or not? As to who gets on the team buses to San Diego or who gets on a plane to go elsewhere.
The 3-2, Fields takes a call, strike 3.
Well, Fields has not agreed with home plate umpire John Tupain today on balls out away from him. 2 of them in this at bat. He struck out looking on a fastball away from him in the 2nd inning.
"12 in a row have been retired by Daniel Hudson. And now Luis Cruz takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Cruz, a wide open stance, well off the plate. Right-handed hitter, swinging a fly ball into right center field. Chris Young camped underneath it, makes a catch. 2nd out of the 5th.
It's kind of amazing. You look at the season Arizona had last year. Again, they improved 29 games in the win column from the season before. August 10th was the day that they took over first place a year ago in front of the San Francisco Giants, but they did it with pitching in what is really kind of considered a hitter's friendly ballpark. But they really reworked their staff, and no question they really reworked their bullpen.
And more than anything else, the hitter now is Elian Herrera. They reworked their attitude with Kirk Gibson. The taskmaster, Alan Trammell, is bench coach. Got a terrific coaching staff. And it's a whole new way of doing business there. And Kevin Towers is the general manager. The Diamondbacks got a major facelift. The 1-1 is inside and low. 2-1 to Elian Herrera. So the National League West, figures to be fascinating this year. And a call strike, 2-2. Giants, of course, have the return of Buster Posey, the terrific pitching. Offense will likely be an issue again. Here's the 2-2 as Herrera swings and misses, and that ends the nothing across. The Dodgers go quietly in the 5th as we head to the 6th. Arizona 5-1. On a windy Sunday afternoon in the Valley of the Sun, we're coming to you from Camelback Ranch in Glendale. The Dodgers concluding their 4th spring here in Arizona. And the Diamondbacks with a 5-1 lead. Alan Webster begins his 2nd inning of relief. And he'll be facing John McDonald. And Daniel Hudson will continue to pitch into the 6th as he's in the on-deck circle now. Webster misses outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes to McDonald, who's got a hit in 2 at-bats and a run scored. Dodgers took a 1-0 lead in the 1st. A 1-out walk to Ellis, and Loney double to right center. McDonald with a fly ball to deep left field, and that one is gone. John McDonald, hardly known for his power, got it all, got some help from the wind as well as the ball goes over the Dodger bullpen. It is a 6-1 Diamondback lead on their 3rd home run of the afternoon.
And McDonald, we mentioned before, is a guy they did not want really him to hit the ball into the air. Second baseman, third baseman, can play shortstop, known for the defense. So 2,000 plate appearance at the big league level, hitting at .233.
Daniel Hudson takes high and inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
They got that ball into the air and it continued. Wind did not hurt, no question.
McDonald, in 11 years in the big leagues, has 21 home runs. As Webster misses with a fastball down around the shins of Daniel Hudson. 2 balls and no strikes. Three home runs on the day for the Diamondbacks. The 2-0s, a swing and a foul back just beneath us. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
It'll be interesting to read the comments, hear the comments. Both Mattingly and Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, on Chad Billingsley.
Good 2-1 from Webster. Fouled off to the right, 2-2.
As we were given some numbers just during the half inning. Okay, Billingsley goes 3 innings today. Final tune-up, 4 runs, 6 hits, couple of home runs, 3 strikeouts, 70 pitches. But the numbers for the spring are really kind of eye-opening.
Here's a 2-2, up and in, 3-2.
Such as 21 1/3 innings pitched. 33 hits, and a spring ERA of 5.91. Granted, numbers in spring, they don't really count.
Here's a 3-2. Hudson, big swing, fouls it off to the right.
But tendencies do. And tendencies are that Chad Billingsley, again today, whether it's spring training or regular season, the plate's 17 inches wide. It has not been moved. And yet Chad has difficulty attacking the strike zone, and we did not see a good breaking ball.
The 3-2, Webster. Swing and a ground ball slowly hit to second base. Elian Herrera will pick it up. Hudson easily thrown out. First out of the sixth.
And not to belabor the point, but it's more than just a workout. Today was the final tuning up for Chad Billingsley, and it was off key.
Well, in his last start against the White Sox on Monday, he went 5 2/3 and threw 100 pitches. This afternoon, in 3 innings, he threw 70. Ryan Roberts, with 1 out and nobody on, 1 in here in the sixth, takes a strike, 0-1. So that's an issue.
Well, it's something they're going to be watching, and do the tendencies continue? And if so, the bullpen's going to be on alert very early.
Ryan Roberts, swing and a ground ball to third, backhanded nicely by Josh Fields. Throws across the diamond. That's a second out.
More importantly, this has been a tendency that we have seen of Chad Billingsley more often than the Dodgers would care to see. How do you cut to the chase? How do you have better command? There has never been a question of Chad Billingsley's ability
Now Aaron Hill takes a strike, 0-1.
And I'm sure that Chad is tired of answering the same questions. Well, what about your pitch command and the pitch count?
Swinging a ground ball to third, backhanded. It's Rafael Inoa at third base now, and he makes 2 nice plays in the inning, replacing Josh Fields at third. Rafael Inoa. Well, 1 run on the McDonald home run. And after 5.5, Arizona leading at 6-1. Changes now for the Diamondbacks as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Evan Fry is in right field. There is a new center fielder. If he had the common courtesy of turning around, we can see who he is and what his number is. Craig Breslow is the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks. And the bottom of the sixth is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
And Parra has taken over in center.
Gerardo Parra. Okay. Gerardo Parra must have been thinking to himself after the great year he had last year. Won a Gold Glove. Hit .292, 8 home runs, 46 RBIs, and the Diamondbacks go out and get Jason Kubel to take his job. Breslow, lefty, delivers a strike, 0-1. And so there was talk early in spring with the Washington Nationals in hopes of fortifying their outfield. They were looking seriously at Parra, but apparently the Diamondbacks have no desire to trade him. Kyle Russell is leading off for the Dodgers here in the bottom of the 6th, and quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Breslow deals, and Russell takes high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Luis Nunez is on deck for the Dodgers. Russell, big, tall, left-handed batter, takes low and outside, and is 2-2. Dodgers think he's got a real chance. Breslow on 2-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. The lefty-lefty battle is won by the pitcher, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 6th. Dodgers have not had a base runner since 1 out in the 1st inning. And now Luis Nunez. So all of these young Dodgers that are out there now with the numbers in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and no names across the backs of their jerseys. Nunez wearing number 89. Low and outside.
Yeah, Breslow turned it over. Breslow, he's one of those guys you smile. He's too smart for this game. He's out of Yale. Has a degree in molecular biophysics and biochemistry.
Well, we could have a Harvard-Yale matchup before the day is done. Out of all outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Dodgers have a lefty, Eric Eatington, out of Harvard, who could pitch later today. Got the GE College Bowl going. Here's a 3-0. Call strike, 3-1. Chris Capuano, Phi Beta Kappa from Duke.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, we are in that other line. Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
High chopper slowly into 3rd. Nunez is safe at first base. A high throw from Ryan Roberts. Goldschmidt leaps high into the air. Tried to tag Nunez and couldn't. Not your average 5th grader, I might add.
You're spending time in that other Peoria.
That's right.
Now, did the tag get Nunez at first base? Well,
not according to Jim Wolf.
No, and we will go with Mr. Wolf.
Randy's older brother. 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the 6th. The Diamondbacks lead 6-1. And Matt Engel steps into the batter's box.
So how was it you referred to Bradley again?
Oh, the Harvard of the Midwest.
Harvard of the Midwest. Yes.
After years of research, we discovered that Harvard never once called itself the Bradley of the East.
No.
Could be an oversight. I'm not sure.
Well, we used to refer to Arizona State as the Harvard of the West.
A swing and a slow hit ball to second base. Out at second, throw to first at not in time. Matt Engel with the great speed. Beats a throw from Bloomquist.
And you can hear in the background, not a real popular call, as a matter of fact. Not a bad feed at second base. Engel has a very good running speed. By the way, after we refer to it as the Harvard of the West, someone invariably will say, okay, who gets the next case?
Mm-hmm. And how do you spell ASU? Jeff Baisley takes a strike, nothing in one. I'll spot you the A.
Make that comment one more time. I want to see you get through screening at the airport unimpeded. I have friends here.
Baisley swings and misses. It's nothing in two. Well, Bradley turned out some pretty good sportscasters. Chick Hearn, Ralph Lawler, Jack Brickhouse.
And
I can't think of anybody else offhand. Andy Mazer down in San Diego. Here's the 0-2. Little check swing blooper caught at first base by Goldschmidt. And that ends the inning, and not
Bezos got to put that bat on ice.
and his thumbs too. No runs, no hits, and error, one man left. We'll go to the seventh, 6-1, Arizona. Before we head to the seventh inning, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification along the Dodgers radio network.
Thanks for sharing all your favorite moments at Dodger Stadium. Go to Dodgers.com/50 today.
Charlie Steiner, Rick Monday on the final game from Camelback Ranch in Glendale, Arizona. Tomorrow night, the Dodgers and Angels in Anaheim will be on AM 570, Fox Sports LA, and the Dodger Radio Network at 6:30. First pitch at 7:05. Jamie Wright, Dan Herron will have at it. Alan Webster now, beginning his third inning of relief. To this point, he's given up 2 runs and 2 hits. Swinging a ground ball to second base. Gerardo Parra has just grounded out to Elian Herrera, who's thrown to Jeff Baisley. 1 out here in the 7th.
Lucky number 13, Jason Kupel.
Well, if you don't know very many of the fellas wearing the Dodger blue jerseys at the moment out there, it's your excuse. In left field, Leon Landry. In center field, Matt Engel. And Kyle Russell is in right. But as they say, wait, there's more. Alan Webster delivers a strike, nothing in 1. Rafael Inoa is at third base. Luis Nunez is at short. Elian Herrera is at second. Jeff Baisley is at first. And Matt Trainer is no longer behind the plate. Tim Fedorovich is. FedEx now behind the plate. So most of the fellas who played today are quickly showering and either heading to the airport or driving back to Los Angeles. At a ball outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jason Kubel.
Yeah, those that are driving, we figure they're just about, well, maybe a little past Blythe.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Swinging a foul off to the left and out of play. So tomorrow night we're on the air at 6:30 for the pregame. First pitch 5 after 7. Tuesday night, 6:30 pregame. First pitch 7:10 at Dodger Stadium. Low and outside, 2-2 on Tuesday night. Irvin Santana and Aaron Harang in their final tune-ups, and then Wednesday afternoon, midday matinee 12:10, C.J. Wilson and Nathan Eovaldi. Here's the 2-2. Just outside and high, 3-2. And Webster misses outside, ball 4, his 3rd walk.
Restriction number 21, Jake Williams.
And the Diamondbacks have Jake Williams coming up. Little switch hitter. This is his first at-bat. Chris Young, whom he's replacing in the lineup, hit a home run, walked and struck out today. And Williams takes outside and low, 1 ball, no strikes. So we're talking in the last half inning about the Giants. Of course, they're great pitching. Arizona coming off their 94-win season last year. Can they do it again? Colorado made some interesting off-season moves. Matt Williams busy flashing signs down from the third base coach. Third base coaching box. Here's a 2-0. Call strike, 2-1 to Williams. Any team kind of jump out at you, Mo?
Well, what's really kind of nice is you look a year ago, the Diamondbacks were coming off of a 97-loss season into spring training, and they made up 29 games in the win column.
Williams fouls it back, 2-2.
They have an improved pitching staff. What are they going to do? They're still waiting for Stephen Drew, their shortstop, with that severely broken ankle. Now, he could be back in May. Could be. The offense was not really they scored enough runs to win, but their pitching staff helped them.
2-2 in the dirt. Kicks off shin guard of Fedorovich, and going to second base on the wild pitch is Jason Kubel.
I have 2 questions. The Giants have the pitching. If they can get it to the bullpen and their closer, their starting pitching is pretty solid. What are the Rockies going to do?
Rockies made some interesting moves that they intentionally got themselves older. The 3-2 foul off to the left and out of play. Well, one of their off-season signings, Casey Blake, and Casey was falling apart at the seams at the end of last year with the Dodgers, and looks like he's on the road to retirement as the Rockies released him a week or so ago. And then they got Marco Scutaro from the Red Sox. Here's a 3-2. Inside and low, ball 4. That is the 4th walk now given up by Webster. First and second, 1 out. So Scutaro at 36 is their second baseman. Tim Fedorovich going out to talk to Webster, and so too is Rick Honeycutt from the dugout. Todd Helton not getting any younger. Michael Kadire is a nice player. Do they have enough pitching in Colorado? I think one of the reasons, in talking to some of the Colorado folks, that they wanted to get a few more veterans in there. They felt that with Cargo and Tulo being the leaders of the team, that they both were kind of biting off more than they could chew. They're still relatively young. They wanted to take some of the leadership responsibilities off those two young fellas.
Where the Rockies really struggled, they got runners on base, but they had the second lowest team batting average in the major leagues with runners on scoring position. Only the Florida Marlins were lower, so they didn't hit particularly well.
Evan Fry is now the batter, his first at-bat. Left-handed hitter. And Webster delivers a strike. 1-1.
Rockies also in their bullpen. Their middle relief was pretty good last year, but they had concerns with their closer.
Well, their closer is in San Diego now. Houston Street. Swinging a ground ball to the right side. Diving play at second base. A nice one by Elian Herrera. Keeps the ball in the infield. Fry is retired at first, but Kubel goes to third and Williams goes to second with 2 out. Very nice play.
Nice play and showing some ability to be able to get over and knock that ball down and save the run.
So Rafael Betancourt is going to be the closer in Colorado. And Miguel Montero steps into the batter's box. Montero struck out in his first at-bat. Webster delivers high. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, the Rockies, of course, sent Ubaldo Jimenez to Cleveland. We've got Drew Pomeranz and Alex White in return. See how that pays off. Swinging a foul off to the left and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Miguel Montero. We're in the 7th inning. The Diamondbacks with a 6-1 lead.
The other part with this Dodger ball club, too, Charlie, if we're looking at this coming season, there's better depth. Of course, we talked about depth last year, and unfortunately, the starters became injured.
Montero swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So that extra cushion, the bucket of, well, depth, had to play every year, every day, and too many times during the year. And with new ownership coming in with this Dodger ball club too, you wonder how that's going to help supplant this club.
1-2. Montero takes one in the dirt, blocked very nicely by Fedorovich. 2-2.
So I think overall, if you look at the big package, this Dodger ball club, they believe very strongly. And if you look at the starting staff and then you look at how the youngsters out of the bullpen performed last year, can they carry that over now with the word expectations attached to it? But if this is a club with the Dodgers that can stay close, you figure that they'll be in a position where they will definitely make a statement when it comes later on.
The 2-2, Montero fouls it off to the left and out of play.
But to run in that final stretch, you have to keep up with everyone else. That's going to be the job at hand. You can't have Chad Billingsley going 3 innings and throwing 70 pitches. And not to lay it at Chad Billingsley. One complements the other, complements the other, complements the other.
If he's going 70 pitches in 3 innings, you have to figure out how to cobble 6 more innings together out of the bullpen, and that burns your bullpen for the next day or the day after that.
And I realize that players have at times overinflated ideas of what they may be doing, individually or collectively as a team. But I think as the more and more players we talk to, they believe, hey, look, we can do this thing. And I think they take upon how they finish the season as something they can hold on to.
Montero with a ground ball to second base, picked up by Elian Herrera. Looks like a pretty good defender. Makes all 3 assists in the top of the 7th. 7th inning stretch, couple of walks. Diamondbacks leave 2 and lead it 6-1. Seventh inning stretch here at Camelback Ranch in Glendale. Gorgeous afternoon. It's been windy, blowing from right toward left. 3 wind-aided home runs for the Diamondbacks, and they've got a 6-1 lead. The Dodgers haven't had but 1 hit, and that came in the first inning with 1 out. Loney, an RBI double. 6 runs, 8 hits for Arizona, 1 run and 1 hit for the Dodgers. 9,766 in attendance for this final spring training game this season here at Camelback Ranch. Diamondbacks have a new pitcher, huh?
Yes, they do. Wearing number 34. They also have some other guys. Boy, do they.
Oh, this is really the fun part of spring.
It is that fun time, folks. And we're sorry you're caught up in it with us. But K. Paul is the pitcher. 2 other changes we're able to decipher. Cody Ransom is playing at shortstop, and Jimmy Camerata is at second base.
Well, all right. And a call strike, nothing in 1.
That is all. For the time being.
Well, Mr. K. Paul, I'm sure, is a fine fella. 1 ball and 1 strike. And I'm sure he's in the book somewhere.
You're hoping he's in the book. All I can tell you is
he's here.
Online, I just checked one that we use a lot. He's not there.
Here's a 2-1. It's outside, 3 balls and a strike. You Googled him and it came up gone fishing, huh?
Yeah, Google giggled.
We don't know either. So, popped foul down the first baseline. Fedorovich is fouled out, first out of the 7th inning. Yeah, when you go to the Google page and a shrug of the shoulders is staring at your back, it's probably not a real good sign. And let's see, the Dodgers have Nick Buss coming to the plate. It's the first time we've seen Mr. Buss. And a call strike to Mr. Buss. Well, let's see here.
Go for it.
Ah, wait a minute. We have discovered Alex K. Paul.
He was not in the front of the book, was he?
No. He was well in the back of the book. He's from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Okay. What else does it say?
Went to the University of Hawaii and pitched at Yakima last year. More than you got, pal. Ground ball to second base. And Nick Buss has just been thrown out. There's 2 out.
Well, he was not put into evidence that he was on this road trip.
Well, let's see. There are 286 pages in the Arizona Diamondback Media Guide.
Okay.
Alex K. Paul takes up less than an inch.
He's a fine young man.
Yes, he is. Drafted in the 43rd round in 2011. And that's it.
At this point, other than immediate family, who cares?
Leon Landry is now the batter for the Dodgers. It's the first time we've seen Landry. He's a left-handed batter. He swings and fouls it off his foot. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 7th. And the Diamondbacks with a 6-1 lead. All of the regulars and all of the understudies for the regulars have long since gone, and Leon Landry takes a call strike 3, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We head to the 8th, 6-1 Arizona. As we go to the top half of the 8th inning, Sean Tollison is the 4th Dodger pitcher of the afternoon. Tollison, a friend of Clayton Kershaw's from back in Dallas, and Kershaw speaks glowingly about the raw stuff of Sean Tollison, the 4th Dodger pitcher of the day.
Yeah, 6'2", 220 is out of Baylor. He was a 30th round pick by the Dodgers. There's some football talked at home because, well, Sean went to Baylor. His uncle and cousin both played football at Texas A&M. Family gatherings are somewhat heated in conversation about football.
It's a call strike, 0-1. Let's see. What do we have at the plate now? Ball outside.
Pollock.
Ah.
Bottled water here.
A.J. Pollock.
Okay.
Who swings and fouls it back. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the 8th is brought to you by 1-800-LOAN-MART. Are you low on cash? Call 1-800-LOAN-MART today to get fast cash off the equity of your car. That's 1-800-LOAN-MART. 1-2, and Pollock takes outside. 2-2.
Well, it's not just Clayton Kershaw that's high on Pollock, and again, it was a 30th round pick, but boy, did he ever have a season last year that you begin to analyze and look at the charts. We haven't seen a whole lot of him at all here.
Swinging a foul back and out of play.
But he was the Branch Rickey minor league pitcher of the year last year for the Dodgers. He went 7-2 with 25 saves. Now, he worked 57 games, single A, Great Lakes, single A Rancho Cucamonga, and then double A Chattanooga, with an ERA 1.17 in those 57 relief appearances.
Missing just outside. Tollison thought he had a call strike. Instead, it's 3-2.
So I understand fastball. It's been clocked as high as 96, but he's better suited in the low 90s with more movement. Slider we've seen, and a cut fastball.
3-2, foul back.
And that one right there has some pretty good giddy up on it.
In 5 appearances at Rancho Cucamonga, in 9 2/3 innings, 1 earned run, and 2 base hits. Then on to Great Lakes, 15 innings, no earned runs, and 8 base hits in 15. Now the 3-2, way outside, ball 4.
So he was drafted just a couple of years ago, but Here's a young guy also that had the Tommy John surgery 2006, well before he was even drafted, but still has pretty good velocity. And you can make the argument, I don't care if you're an A ball, double A, wherever it may be, you have a collective ERA that's that low, you get a lot of attention. And this is Socrates Brito hitting, pinch hitting.
I've read his work. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
The great philosopher Brito.
Where Mike Brito meets Socrates, there you've got Socrates Brito.
We may get an invitation for that program. Are you smarter than a fifth grade?
There's Socrates with a radar gun.
And Mike, yes. With the Panama hat.
The 0-2 is high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And a big stogie.
And a tablet. And
and white shoes. We'll see.
Mr. Brito soon.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
And Mike Brito is part of the group around Major League Baseball that does not get a whole lot of play. And those are the guys that literally go, as Mike calls it, now I'm going in the jungle. I'm beating the bushes looking for players.
Well, Socrates Brito has just been beaten by a fastball, swings and misses. There's 1 out.
I'd like to hear the post-game comments from Socrates.
He who. No. 1 out, 1 on. And Ryan Roberts, good to see a familiar face in the batter's box.
Oh, boy, is it.
Familiar face and the familiar tattoos of Ryan Roberts. 2 for 4 today. Tollison, the 4th Dodger pitcher of the day. There was a fastball high that pops out of the glove of Fedorovich. Doesn't go far enough for McDonald to go anywhere.
But the scouts, how do they find? And the most difficult thing to do is to look at a young player, 16, 17 years of age, and be able to project where they may be athletically.
And not just athletically. One of the things, and we've got plenty of scouts. In fact, sitting closest to you in the blue shirt with the pirate hat on, one-time Dodger bench coach, Dave Joust. There he is with the radar gun and a call strike. Jousty now an advanced scout for the Pirates.
As those of you that are watching it also on the television. Now, if you're in your car and you look to your left.
That's a point. Watch out.
Make sure they have the turn signal on.
Here's a 2-1. It's high, 3 balls and a strike. Really one of baseball's good people. Dave Joust, he was the bench coach with Grady Little 5-6 years ago. On 3-1, Roberts swing and a fly ball into right center field. And it's going to be caught by Matt Engel. And it's the 2nd out of the 8th inning.
Charlie, one of the things that we are hearing, and with the Guggenheim baseball group, and waiting for the approval and the sale and the transfer, if you will, one of the things that Stan Kasten has talked about, who's going to be one of the mainstays in that group, is that he immediately came out and said, look, I put great credibility in scouting and player development, along with a good starting pitching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, was that music to your ears.
Cody Ransom. Big swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Ransom hit a big walk-off home run against the Dodgers last year in Arizona. A much-traveled veteran, Cody Ransom. Arizona with a 6-1 lead. And we're at the portion of the game and the exhibition season where we're featuring the not ready for primetime players. There's the 0-1. Fly ball, right field. Kyle Russell is there. Should be an easy play, and it is. That ends the 8th. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Diamondbacks lead it 6-1. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks as we go to the bottom of the 8th, a lefty, Mike Zagurski, making his 10th appearance of the spring. In 8 1/3 innings, he has given up but 5 base hits and 3 earned runs. That is a 2.16 ERA, and he becomes the 4th Diamondback pitcher of the afternoon.
Well, Zagurski was not really looked at in high school. They eventually 12th round pick by the Phillies at a University of Kansas. They first really saw him, scouts did, in high school. Not because they were scouting him, but scouting another guy.
Now the hitter for the Dodgers as we lead off the bottom half of the 8th. Rafael Inoa, who's at third base now. This is his first at-bat of the day. First time we've seen him all spring. So Zagurski gets a little comebacker right to him. Inoa has grounded out, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
Hey, folks, you can subscribe to MLB.TV Premium today and get over 150 select spring training games with no blackouts and every regular season game live or on demand on your favorite devices. So just go online. Visit Dodgers.com. By the way, that other guy that they were looking at in high school, Chris Gibson. Same name sound familiar? Yeah. Son of Hall of Famer Bob Gibson. But they liked what they saw with Zagurski.
Out of Omaha. And a little humpback liner off the bat of Elian Herrera right into the glove of the second baseman Aaron Hill. There's 2 out. And Zagurski is happy fella. He went to the University of Kansas.
Became the 21st University of Kansas graduate to play at the major league level. Has a degree in communications.
Well, maybe he can come up here and tell us all about Alex K. Paul.
As long as he can spot those other guys that weren't even listed.
Alex K. Paul being one of them. There's 2 out, nobody on. No balls and a strike, 2 out, bottom of the 8th. Diamondbacks a 6-1 lead. Kyle Russell is the batter. And it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Russell. Left-handed hitter. Swing, and he foul tips it into the dirt. And it's 1-2. Russell went to the University of Texas. And last year at Double-A Chattanooga hit .259. 6'5", 185. 1-2. Zagorski deals, swing and a miss, and that ends the inning. Nothing across for the Dodgers. Will go to the ninth. Diamondbacks lead 6-1. New pitcher for the Dodgers as we head to the ninth. He's out of Corona Del Mar and Harvard. Eric Eatington. In 18 appearances last year in Ogden and in the rookie league, had a record of 2-1, a .83 ERA.
And once worked as an intern for the Dodgers organization.
A grade point average of .83 is not good. An ERA is terrific. And we saw Craig Breslow, the reliever for the Diamondbacks earlier in the game. He went to Yale. And now we've got Eatonton from Harvard pitching the ninth. Sean Tollison pitched an inning of relief for the Dodgers. 1 strikeout, 1 walk. No runs, no hits. And Gerardo Parra leads off for Arizona in the ninth.
Eatonton, one thing you notice, a very deliberate follow-through with his left arm.
Swing and a foul back, 1 ball, 1 strike.
He was not drafted out of Harvard. In fact, his senior year, he's a fifth-year senior, but 0-7 ERA of 4.99. But Rich DeLucia was the scout with the Dodgers that saw him, and they liked his arm strength.
Delivers a strike, and it's 1-2.
So it's kind of a slurvy curveball. Fastball normally at right around 90.
6-1 Arizona leads, top of the ninth. Swinging a looper down the left field line, foul by 1.5 feet, and it bounces into the stands. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night at 6:30 on the Dodger Radio Network and our new flagship station, AM 570 Fox Sports LA. First pitch at 7:05. Dodgers and Angels down in Anaheim. Jamie Wright and Dan Herron, their final tune-ups. As Eatonton misses high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thursday, it counts for real. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Gerardo Parra, pretty good hitter, badly fooled on the pitch.
It's remarkable that players are not drafted out of college and didn't give them a chance. Last year, only 9 games after Edenton had signed. Record of 1-1, ERA 1.59.
18 appearances and 2 different stops, and he delivers a strike. And it's 0-1. Swing and a chopper to second base. It'll be an easy play for Elian Herrera. And there's 2 gone. There's Jimmy
Camarota
bounces out, 2 out. Now you don't.
Too bad he swung at the first pitch. You
could have gone Googling, huh?
Well, he came in the game, we think.
Well,
a little while ago.
2 out, nobody on.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, we're 1 day closer to opening day. Clayton Kershaw, Edinson Volquez will pitch on Thursday at Petco. And Edenton swing and a miss. Williams is 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We can pack away the 80s and 90s numbers for
another year.
1 more spring.
Six to 1, Arizona leads. The Dodgers had a 1-0 lead after 1. Arizona scored 3 in the second, and that was that. And a ground ball to short. Luis Nunez fires across to Jeff Baisley at a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and the Diamondbacks lead at 6-1. A fellow named Casio Grider is leading off for the Dodgers in the 9th. Right-handed hitter. And he looked about as thin as the bat that he's holding in his hand. Takes a strike and it's 0-1. Grider is from Loma Linda. Played at Great Lakes last year and hit .230. A 14th round pick of the Dodgers. back in 2009. And he takes inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Played some small college baseball at Newberry College in South Carolina and Dalton College in Georgia. And this is the first time we've seen him. On 2-2. Outside in low 3-2. Mike Zagorski is pitching his second inning of relief. And the former Philly on 3-2, a line drive base hit into left field. Well, Grider certainly can run. He's tried to stretch a single into a double, and he just did.
He can fly. As soon as he left the bat, there was just something rather electric. But Casio Grider stays with it. And Tyler Henson will come on as a pinch hitter.
Well, you could see Grider as soon as the ball left the bat, and it was headed toward the left field corner. Those guys would have just taken a big turn, and he just never stopped running. So he's at second base. And Tyler Henson takes a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Henson out of Oklahoma City. Swings and rolls it up the first baseline. Fielded by Lorenzo Bundy. Filling in as the first base coach today for Davey Lopes.
That bat never had a chance. He was jammed. Henson, quite an athlete. He was a quarterback in high school at Tuttle High School in Oklahoma, a team that went 14 wins, no losses. And then he led the baseball team to the Class 4A championship. And in the final game, he was the pitcher who was the winner of the game.
Henson came over from the Orioles in a deal that sent Dana Eveland over there over the winter. One ball, 1 strike. Zagorski deals, and Henson takes high and outside. It's 2-1. Arizona with a 6-1 lead. They've out-hit the Dodgers 8-2. And Henson fouls it off to the right and out of play. He's a right-handed batter.
Henson, primarily a shortstop, when he was drafted the 5th round by the Orioles. They moved him to third base about 3 years ago.
Well, the Dodgers have been doing some business with the Orioles. Of course, Matt Engel picked up off waivers from Baltimore in late February. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Henson with Casio Grider at second base following a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 9th. So you've got some A-ball players and a little bloop foul off the glove of the Arizona first baseman.
Yeah, it's been an expensive bat for Mr. Henson. He's going back for his 3rd different at bat. This one a different model, a different color, and probably not his own.
Can I borrow that one? Only if you promise to bring it back in one
better
piece.
Results, maybe.
3 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Most of the regulars on both sides have been long gone since about the 5th inning, and Henson goes down swinging. First out of the bottom of the 9th. Now Jeff Beasley coming into the batter's box. Tim Fedorovich is on deck. 6:30 tomorrow night for the pregame. First pitch 5 after 7. The Dodgers and the Angels. First of 3 against the club from Anaheim. We'll be in Anaheim tomorrow night. Tuesday night, Dodger Stadium, 7:10. Pregame 6:30. Wednesday, 12:10 at Dodger Stadium. Pregame 11:30 in the morning. And the Dodgers will bus it down to San Diego. First 4 games of the season. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Baisley takes high and inside. It's 1-1. Opening day, Clayton Kershaw, Edinson Volquez. Friday night, Chad Billingsley, who had a rough outing this afternoon against Kari Lubke. Chris Capuano and Dustin Mosley will have at it on Saturday. Aaron Harang and Clayton Richard on Sunday. 2 balls and a strike to Baisley. Padres thought Tim Stauffer might be their opening day starter, but he's not quite healthy at the moment. Here's a 2-1. Foul back and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Diamondbacks open at home on Friday against the Giants. Ian Kennedy will face Tim Lincecum. Now the 2-2. Inside low, 3-2. On Thursday afternoon, first pitch 4:05 from Petco. The 3-2. Line drive, left field foul. Friday night, 7:05. Saturday at 5:35 in San Diego. And Sunday at 1:05. Dodgers home opener on the 50th anniversary of Dodger Stadium. A week from Tuesday. The Pirates in a 3-game series. Then 3 more with San Diego. Here's a 3-2. Swing and a foul tip. So by the time the second week of the season is over, the Dodgers will have played the Padres 7 times. And 4 with San Diego. There's a fly ball down the left field line, but it's looking foul and out of play off the bat of Jeff Baisley. First 10 games for the Dodgers against the Padres and the Pirates. The 3-2. Zagorski deals and Baisley with a fly ball straight away center field. Drifting back is Parra. He's there and he makes the catch. And Grider tags and goes to third with 2 out.
I have to believe the Pirates are going to be very thankful to open up the season out west earlier on, knowing what the weather can be in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area.
You play on the field and not on last year's standings. However, the Pirates were 18 games under 500 last year, and they haven't had a winning season in 20 years. And San Diego was 20 games under 500. And the Dodgers' first 10 games of the season are against those 2 teams. So with 2 out, here's Tim Fedorovich. Fedorovich, of course, from the University of North Carolina. 2 out, bottom of the 9th. Arizona, a 6-1 lead. Zagorski set and deals, and Fedorovich tried to check his swing, went around, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-2. Low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So after the first 10 against San Diego and Pittsburgh, the Dodgers then go on to Milwaukee for 3. and Houston for 3. Again, you don't play the games on paper, but on paper it's not a bad schedule in April for the Dodgers. Low and outside, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball, right side, base hit. Into right field, Fedorovich, an RBI single as Casio Grider comes in to score, making it 6-2 with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, to finally get another hit, they've had 2 here in the 9th inning. The only other hit besides the 2 here in the 9th was an RBI double by James Loney back in the very first inning. So we're talking about players heading west. It appeared for a long time that the bats had also been shipped a little bit early.
They were heading south. Well, with 2 out, a call strike. Jake Lemmerman is the hitter, and he takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Lemmerman is sharing number 13 with Ivan DeJesus, and DeJesus, of course, sidelined with the oblique. No ball, 2 out, bottom of the 9th, 6-2 Arizona. Lemmerman swinging a ground ball to short. This should end it. A forced play at second base. Fedorovich is out, and the Diamondbacks hang on to beat the Dodgers 6-2. For Arizona, 6 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. The Dodgers, 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. Next stop for the Dodgers, Anaheim. We'll be on the air at 6:30 on the radio on AM 570 Fox Sports LA and the Dodger Radio Network. First pitch at 7:05. It'll be Jamie Wright versus Dan Herron. And that is a wrap for us on television. We're going to take a break. Say so long from here. Rick Bunting, Charlie Steiner. Diamondbacks win 6-2. Those of you on radio got the post-game show coming up next.